Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is the channel where we basically sell cool comics at cool prices. We do all our comics, no matter what we find, at a maximum of £2 or lower if it comes to bundle discounts. We had a good few sales over the weekend. I'll show them soon. Our Forbidden Planet stuff has arrived, so we've got 30 grab bags, which you normally get 4 comics for £2. We're going to open them today, so it came to £65.99. We're going to create 2 piles, because we all know this kind of thing, it's not going to be all your, they're not going to fill with absolute Batmans and, all the greatest things happening at the moment. They're obviously using it to shift dead stock to them. So we're going to create 2 piles. We're going to do piles of comics that, for us, we know they're going to sell. There's no problem they will sell. And then we're going to have a pile of comics that we're like, I know nothing about them. And we'll see if at the very least the pile that we know does work well for us, covers the cost, and creates a bit of a profit. So if that sounds interesting to you, just like and subscribe. I'm going to jump to the sales now, and then you'll come back to me opening all these bad boys up. Hey guys, I'm just going to quickly go through all of Saturday's sales. We've got 8 orders here and about 40 comics, so really good day. So we've got Monsters Unleashed. Then somebody bought 6 comics here. Got Mighty Avengers, Blood Hunt 4 variant, Uncanny X-Men, Inhumans 2099 one-shot, Inhumans Prime, and Iceman number 8. And then we had another order of 7 comics. Big theme here of X-Men. So Death to the Mutants. That Marauders one we just listed. X-Men Red 6. New Mutants 25. X-Men Red 13. X-Men Red 2. And Death to the Mutants 1. And somebody did a bit of a Suicide Squad clear up, so Suicide Squad 27, 28, number 1, and they also took Birds of Prey as well. And then when we did our little experiment, but we tried to do the variety, when I said yes the day before, listing things that's a bit different from what's on your store to try to get new sales. I think it worked. We've got Flash from 1989. Annual sold. The Forbidden Planet stuff has arrived, and along with that came some of the. I bought some modern single issues. It's a bit weird because I actually paid £1.05 for them, and then plus 12p for the bag and board means £1.17. But I wanted to see if this helped with sales, putting things that I know will sell. Although someone bought this one basically on its own. But I mean, you're taking £1.17 and turning it into £2 within like that, so better than a bank, I suppose. And then somebody took a little Avengers bundle here. So number 1, number 11, number 22, number 24, and number 28. I think I'll really start to take a hammering on that. Looking to get some more. Then somebody took a 16 comic bundle. Again, with the one that I think that set it off, which is why I bought these ones, was The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Shiver of Christmas Time. I've always think Disney will do well. I do have a couple more. I have one more. I have Gargoyles versus Darkwing, which does look cool. But it's maybe a bit more niche than Nightmare Before Christmas. But yeah, this was the one, and then there's a lot of older listings back here, so this was kind of why I did it. I thought something really enticing and people are going to go, I'll build a bundle because I like that comic. So I've got The Night Before Christmas, Detective Comics 993, Detective Comics 998, Detective Comics 1006, Batman and Robin Eternal, Batman Eternal 6, Batman Eternal 1, Mandalorian variant, Action Comics 983. Now I actually did some relisting today, and this was my very oldest listing, and this also sold in the bundle, so that's like really good. Maybe relisting, there's some method of madness to that. Doctor Who, Judge Dredd, Fight Club 2, X-Men Gold, Batman the Dark Knight 14, Age of Ultron 5, and The Thing number 7. Okay, so we have all these comics in front of me. What I want to do is I'm going to put the ones that I personally don't know much about, so I don't know if they'll sell quickly, on my store, and put them back down in the short box. And we'll keep the ones up here that I think are going to be good sellers and go quite quickly in the shop. Then we'll kind of discuss at the end what kind of volume that amounts up to, and if this purchase was worth it at all. We've got 3 piles. There was a couple of spoilers because the bags aren't actually, they're see-through, so you can see both sides. I will say that the way they taped the whole strip is really annoying, so it took ages to kind of unbag and board them. But straight away, from DC, KO, tie-in, Titans, Teen Titans, all that kind of stuff, always going to do well. Red Sonja, I'm on the fence. I'm gonna put it in the sells pile because like her and like Conan and all that kind of stuff does do well. People, it's like they'll sit for ages and someone just buys them all. Like that's kind of like what happens there. Now we've got stuff that I don't know, so I'm gonna put this down. But House of Slaughter by Boom Studios. Geiger? But I mean, they feel really quality books and look like really quality books. The Lucky Devils, that rings a bell, but I mean, it's such cool artwork as well. I'm not saying these are bad comics. I'm just saying I don't know how well they'll sell for this model. Gunslinger. There's going to be a lot of this. No idea. Ooh. You know, right, so this next one's coming up. For such a common character, and for such a popular character, I hardly ever get this character in. Harley Quinn, right? Every time I have had a Harley Quinn, it's gone. Like, I had a variant that she wasn't even on the cover of, and that maybe was the one that lasted like 3 days, but I just think it was a variant and people couldn't tell it was actually a Harley Quinn comic. Then someone just took it. Yeah, I wish I could get more Harley Quinn, but it just doesn't work out that way. Or more Harley Quinn for the price for me to complete this model. But just going to hold up the ones I don't know now. Ooh. So this isn't your normal, again, Marvel DC, but you know it's going to do well. Are they printing The Walking Dead again? Either way, that's going to sell. It's always going to sell. There's always that cult following of The Walking Dead. Some of it does just look really cool. Like Glowhole. Florida Man versus Hogzilla 2. Who comes up with this stuff? I am literally going to have a day though where I just list indie. I'm probably these lot. I'm just going to list 30 indie comics and just see, you know, even if I sell 1 or 2 of these, and we're just going to see how fast they go. The $1 debut, The Valiant. Pass. Ooh. The Adventures of Superman. Book of L number 6. That's really nice. Put that at a good pile. Oh, got a few hits. So. The World to Come, Marvel Knights. I did just list another one from this series. Classic. Avengers 33 from the run that we always sell. So all in all, good start so far. I've got 3 piles, so I'm kind of trying to jump back and forth between them. Resurgence of the Valiant Universe. I don't know much about Valiant comics. I know there's Bloodshot, which Vin Diesel did the movie in, but other than that, no, nothing. I don't know, that just looks proper 80s, 90s space cool stuff, and it like, yeah. So I'm probably sleeping on a lot of this. There'll be stuff here, and you guys are like, oh my god, that's so cool. And I'm like, Scarlet from Image Comics. The thing is with Image is they've had some really big hits, and then somebody capitalizes on that. Like, how big was Invincible before the TV show? You know, don't get me wrong, probably a really decent, really good run of comics to have, probably above most of Image's stuff. But once that show hit, just the seasons, 'tis the season to be jolly. I don't think it's Christmas themed. I just had to sing that. Now this I've heard of the publisher before. Xenoscope Comics Myths and Monsters. There's actually a specialized group on Facebook for these. So good try. So I don't know enough. I'm gonna put it here. If I do sell that one quickly, it's a bonus. I have a Virgin kind of comic. Can't really tell what that is. Forgive me while I... The Last Witch by Boombox. No idea. Ooh! A Spawn Universe title, Rat City. I'm going to put that in the good category, Spawn and stuff. I mean, to be fair, I've not sold any Spawn issues. The last thing I had was Spawn and Batman. But that was listed it, gone within 5 minutes type ideal. Okay, so this is where you can tell you've gone for the grab bags, because we've got this again. And we've got this again. Still going to put it in the good pile though, because I think it's going to do well. Tales of the Shadow Man. Now this is really cool. I haven't sold this next comic before, but I've been asked for it quite a few times. Magic the Gathering. I mean, that's a franchise as old as time, right? Definitely put that in a good pile. And then after that, Disney. So, although this is a bit like... Is childish the word I want to use? Like, you'd think it was aimed at kids. I had a couple of the Donald Duck IDW run, and it went really quickly as well. So, this is the kind of stuff that you want all day. Disney, the fans start from 5 to 80. Like, they're just crazy. Murder Podcast. That's the kind of thing I'm like. Barbaric. At least it's a number 1, you know, like, so you don't have to follow my method when it comes to selling comics, but if you can get a few of these, put some number 1s together and ship them out as a bundle even for £1 each from this kind of grab bags, you're gonna manage something from that. Oh yeah. The Flash. I don't have enough Flash, so to get some modern Flash is always good. Another one of these. I would say so far, it's been about 50-50 so far. Another Walking Dead. I'll take that every day of the week. Revolution. From, who's that from? Underworld? Oh, Mad Cave. Is that Lazarus Fallen? Don't know anything about that. Ugh. Something called Deadweights. Something from Mark Miller. Sometimes artists and writers are enough to push something through. If you see even things from Robert Kirkman and stuff, people are going to be like, oh, I know him now. So, you know, just because you don't know it doesn't mean there's not something in there that you could know to get it through the door. I still think some of them are going to sell pretty quickly as well. Another Red Sonja. Hold on. I don't know anything about this, but I feel like I've seen the inside without looking at it. Big Bang Money Shot. Warning, this book contains human anatomy, and it's in a sealed bag. I don't know what kind of book this might be. Well, that's the most adorable thing you've ever seen. Is that like a feral cat Youngblood tribute? See, that kind of thing though, I think, even though I have no idea what this is, that's gonna sell very well. Anyway, but I'll put it down here. Gotcha, man. Flow. Try to pick up the pace here. Myths and Monsters again. That. Had these two already. Absolute Carnage number 2. That's gonna be gone. If I list that today, it'll be gone. Another Valiant $1 debut, Archer and Armstrong. So I literally just picked up, not this comic in particular, but maybe it was the B cover or something of it. Disney Dynamite comics. I've been trying to get hold of more, but getting them in bundles like this is great. That's going to be straight on my store, and it's going to do well. No, that's dirty. That's dirty. We've got 2 of that comic again. I get that they grab bags, but they seemed a bit too close together to be like, you know, if you shut the same comic in there, then it's a bit dirty. Fantastic Four meets the Gargoyles. Absolute banger. That can go on my store all day long. It's a crossover, it's a Marvel, it's Disney. Yeah, all day long. Ooh, come on. Batman. Ace. Absolute ace. Now, okay. I've never sold a Monster High comic before, but I kind of like this kind of thing because it's like, it's almost like it's like the girls' version of like Transformers and stuff, you know, comic related to a toy franchise. No, I've never sold them before, so I'm gonna put it down. But I think it's that if there was like a middle category, I'd have chucked this in there. Gunslinger again. Had that one before. G.I. Joe. Very. I don't feel much to that. But anyway, G.I. Joe. That one's very thin. Anyway. Ooh. This one again. That's a lot of them now. That's the 4th one. But I'll take that duplicate any day. 2 of them. Another one of them. Maybe Valiant doesn't do well. Maybe I'll have to just do a bundle of Valiant comics. 3rd one of them now. Again, we're probably still at the 50-50 mark, which I'm okay with. Another Harley Quinn. Some Star Trek. Star Trek always does well. And we've got a variant. Is that a variant, or is that actually the comic? Oh, nice. Uncle Scrooge, Earth's Mightiest Duck. Thank you. The New History of the DC Universe. That's just a nice cover. I think, yeah, that's going to be fine. God, this middle pile's ace. The kids are all fight from part of the KO. That's going to be fine. Another Absolute Carnage. Another Disney one. Whew. Okay. 2 of these. And we'll chuck them in there. Drawing Blood from Image. This cover's kind of... It's not metallic, but it's like glittery. It's really cool. Share. Yeah, it looks cool. Whew. Okay. More Walking Dead. Thank you. Good Bones from Boom Studios. Everything Dead and Dying. Flow. No idea. Ooh, this is interesting. I have to admit, I have sold one comic of this, and I love watching him on TikTok and stuff. But part of the new Youngblood line. Hell yeah, we'll take that. Batman, yeah. Marvel's X-Men, Age of... It's X-Men, yeah, we'll be fine. Another one of them. That's a shame, because that looks really cool. Rogue Sun. And this is cool to get. Ultimate Universe. #1. Yeah. This is the pile built up from this. Scorched. Yeah, another Spawned Universe one. Hell yeah. Another one of Uncle Scrooge's. Another Batman. Right, okay. This is a bit mental. So, another Flash, and that's fine. Another 2 of these. I don't mind this as a duplicate. Another Batman. No idea what that is. Nope, pass. Ugh. The Expanse. That might do okay. A lot of video game titles do okay. Where are we? Yeah. More X-Men. Star Trek. Right, piles are now manageable. Let's get them all into one pile and just smash through what's left. I would say, actually, we'll count it, but that's outpaced what wasn't good, which is. So that's a good one. And that's a good one. Another one of them. Another one of them. Another Harley Quinn, like, cool. For a second there, I thought this next one was something else. So it must be, it's a KO variant. But we have something with Absolute Batman on it. I thought it was an Absolute Batman comic. I was like, no. But that's still really cool. That I think even though he's on the cover, that's going to fly out the door at £2. More Gunslinger. Grim. Ah, this is cool. Shredder from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's something I wish I had more of. More Ninja Turtles. They seem to be difficult to come across. Things like that, Transformers, that too. two franchises I wish I could get hold of more, but never seem to come across it. Walking Dead. I do think there's a couple of them, but I think they're actually going to sell. Stick things out of here. It's actually really cool, but I don't know. It looks like it's Valiant again. Another Flash. Another Barbaric. Another Gunslinger. The thing is, right, I don't know what Gunslinger is. Oh, Gunslinger's from Spawn's universe. If you advertise that right, that might do well. I've committed down to putting it down there, but I think I made a mistake there. Another one of these. That looks cooler, but again, that looks like some kind of Youngblood tribute type idea. And our very last one, great way to end it off. Birds of Prey. Nice. So, I cutted through it again, and we got 30 bags of 4 comics. So we had 120 comics in total. And I thought, while we were doing it, that the stuff I would sell quickly, was outperforming the things that I was a bit iffy about. Turns out I was wrong. We got 54 comics that we think will do well in our store, and we got 66 comics that I think will be slower. So like, is it worth it? Now I'm a bit on the fence, but if it was me, because of what I'm doing, I'm going to list them all at £2 and see what sells. If you wanted a more quicker flipper kind of business, I would take what you think can sell well, list it on your store for the prices you think you can get. There's going to be some that you'll get way more than £2 for. I think, things like that Fantastic Four and Gargoyles thing, it doesn't sell straight away, as it kind of it's out of the being readily available. It's easily £3 to £4, if not more, later in the future. But for me, if I include that, I put in a bag and board of my comic, and the lowest I get is £1.50. So I'm basically selling 54 comics at £1.38. We're just going to quickly pull the calculator out. So we said 54 times 1.38 equals. That would make me just shy of £75, and I spent 56. That other 60 comics, though, if I really wanted to, that 66 comics, without bags and boards, I could maybe even say £30. And then basically I made £105 from my 56. That's potentially not bad. It depends how you want to do it. You can make your own grab bags, but make them just slightly more expensive. There's so many ways you can go about it that you can do, like me, cool comics at cool prices. You can individually pick those out. You can individually price them at £4, £5, 50p, pound, whatever you think is best for you in your store. But I think actually overall that was a good deal. I also picked up a couple of comics for £1 and 5p. Now you're probably thinking, but you sell them at £1.50. What's the point? So yes, I picked up comics at £1.05, and I added a bag and board, so that put it to £1.17. As you've seen from one of my sales, that one comic that I knew would be a highlight for somebody pushed them to buy 16 more. So yes, I made 30 to 40 pence on one comic. Not great. The amount I made on everything else, chef's kiss. That was the perfect sale. It was the total point of why I did that. But I suppose £1 and 5, and they buy at £2. Great. That's the other thing. That number I've showed you is the lowest I could make, is if all of them get bought in bundles or as a bundles within each self. I'm hoping some of these push comics that have been sitting around as well. So there's definitely advantages to this. If you're looking to just make money off these grab bags, it's going to be mid difficulty to get your money back, but it's definitely possible. Depends. You don't have to be as fussy as me. Maybe you don't want to do a bag and board. Maybe you just want to bag them. I think bag and board protects it well. It looks smart when the customer gets it. And you know, some of them, like I said, with bag and board, some of them are variants and stuff. Easy £4, £5 comics from what you've bought. Like, what is it, 56p each or something like that. So, and like I said, what sells quick for you, you sell. What doesn't, bundle it up, 60p each, get your money back, try again. But yeah, that's going to be all from me today, folks. I'm going to start getting those bad boys listed. So if you're interested in any of them, come along to Vinted. The link will be in the description. If there's any you see, if you quote, so basically what I'm going to start doing is putting a special word at the end of my video. If you quote that word, I'll give you that comic for 50% off. So you'll get it for £1 if you quote the special word at the end of this video. And today's word is going to be gargoyle. So if you come on Vinted, type gargoyle, you're going to get 50% off your bundle. So you're going to get comics for £1 each. But that's only for the guys who stay at the end. Anyway, it was great to chat to you. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.